be advised that notice of this meeting was made by posting on bulletin board, town hall, and sending to the officially designated newspapers indicating that the meeting would take place at the community center at 6:30 p.m. on this date. The fire exits are located in the far right corner in the back, and to my immediate left of the bar. Pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Agliata.
Here.
Councilman Haynes.
Here.
Councilman Hurley.
Here.
Councilman McDonald.
Here.
Councilman Slockbower.
Here.
Council President Burnside.
Here.
Good, thanks. First up, we have a presentation by the Rockaway Borough Board of Ed. I'd like to welcome Anthony Grieco, Superintendent of Schools, and Ed Graf, Board President. So I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you.
What I gave you in the packet is all, it's information that is available on our website for the budget presentation, or that we've covered in public recently as our last meeting. So Mr. Grieco is going to go through briefly the budget presentation, not as long as we took in our meeting, to give you an opportunity for some of the information. I'll go through a couple things after that, and that's what we're going to do. Mr. Grieco?
On our website, under Board of Education, there's a drop down that says budget information or all budget information, and then it's got 3 things for each year. So this would be 25-26 for us. Our budget runs from, good evening everybody, by the way, sorry. Our budget runs from July 1st last week through June 30th of 2026. So our budget runs a little different than your budget, which is January 1st to December 31st. So I'll just go through some of this budget presentation. Our priorities for 25-26 have not changed from other years. Maintain small class sizes to foster personalized learning experiences. I think since I've been here, but prior to me being here, previous superintendent, Ms. Alpaul, and I think a little bit before that as well, the class sizes were always on the smaller end. Not small enough where we felt like we could combine sections. Basically, every class from kindergarten through 8th has 3 sections, with approximately anywhere from, we try to stay in the low 20s if we can. We don't really want to get to 25. We want to keep our class sizes as small as possible. We don't want those mid-30s in there. We really don't want to see that. That's not good for learning. Further enhance technology integration to adapt to evolving educational needs. We purchased a Chromebook for every student in the district with ESSER funds. Those Chromebooks are good until 2029, so we got a little while to have to worry about updates on those. We got that number finalized in terms of how long the updates would last, because like your Apple phone or anything like that, it gets to a point where certain updates can't happen on that device. Continue offering our core classes that are required, our elective classes, interventions, special education and related services, multilingual learner opportunities as well as some enrichment experiences. Our multilingual learners are our ESL students, English as a second language. That population has increased a lot. Going back to, I just completed my 4th year in the district. My first year here, I think we went we tripled from October to March. We've kind of increased a little bit steadily since then, but we had a big influx around 21, 22, around that time. Promote and ensure the health, well-being, and safety of students and staff through comprehensive wellness programs and safety measures. We have a shared service with the town. Thank you for Class 3 officers. I think it's very well received. They do an excellent job. It's definitely one of the safest school districts, I think, in the state of New Jersey. And offer opportunities for students beyond the traditional classroom environment. We do have a lot of sports programs. We have our school play, musical. We have concerts at different times of the year. We have a winter concert during the holiday season. We have a spring concert at the end of the year. So we do offer a lot. Our enrollment trends are going up from June 30th. I'll summarize some of this stuff. Like I said again, on our website, Board of Education, budget information, this is right on there. Our enrollment has went up 39 students from June 30th, 2024 to right before we did this presentation, which was in May, the 5th or the 6th, I think it was the 6th, May 6th. So on May 6th, we did this presentation. So from June 30th of 24, approximately a year ago to May 1st, 2 months ago, our enrollment went up 39 students in the district. 28 in Thomas Jefferson and 11 in Lincoln. Our budgetary per pupil costs are somewhere in the middle of our if we're comparing against schools, the actual costs 22 to 23. If you look at that page with budgetary per pupil cost comparison. Cost saving measures, some of the things we do, shared services with the high school, child study team, transportation services, and gasoline. Rockaway Township, we do transportation repairs and inspections. Municipality, obviously field use, obviously their township can use ours. Municipality can use our fields as well. School resource officers, I know we've always helped informally with snow removal supplies as needed. We're always willing to help if there's something we don't have, and I know the borough is as well. Morris County Educational Services and Sussex Co-op, transportation, and we're also involved in some programs for our gas and electric bills, and we use Ed Data Services for a lot of our school supplies. Staffing program needs for next year, new math program in grades 6 to 8, new social studies program in grades K to 5. We've been waiting on that for a while, that social studies program. Our social studies curriculum was a little bit behind. It was a little antiquated as far as just 2000, early 2000s, so we really need to update that. Continue to provide other mandated services, continue to address our extracurricular, co-curricular and athletic programs. And then some of the things we have to do, obviously, is provide our IEP mandated related services to eligible students. What are related services? If a student has to have speech, occupational therapy, physical therapy, some students have to help with behaviorist. And we want all of our students to be in the least restrictive environment possible. So if a student is able to function in a general education, traditional classroom, we want them, he or she, to be in there as much as possible, so we strive to do that. We want to increase tuition students coming in when possible. I believe we have 2, looking at a 3rd coming in hopefully, if there's room, if it makes sense, if we can handle it, if it's not going to disrupt the educational environment. We also like to bring some tuition students in. We have a few from Dover actually, currently. I already said OT and speech-related services. Staff added since 21-22. Going into 21-22, that was my first year here, so these were done prior to me coming. I walked into them, but they definitely needed. Guidance counselor at Lincoln went from 4/5 to full-time. Our students mental health is important, as all of you know, and I think our guidance counselors do a great job. Our director of curriculum and instruction went from 10 months to 12 months. There are a lot of reports that are due throughout the year, and a lot of preparation for the year that's upcoming. We have an additional school resource officer that was added in 22-23. Shared services agreement with Rockaway Borough, special education teacher full-time, math interventionist full-time, and a part-time custodian at Lincoln was added as well because of the new addition there, 3 new kindergarten classrooms. 23-24, which was not this past school year, but the year before, we made our ESL teacher part-time to full-time. So our English as a second language teacher, we had 1.5. We now have 2. And we had to add a PE part-time position, which is a 4/5 position without benefits. It's an 80% position, 80% in terms of what the salary would be. That was required based on the number of minutes that are required for PE weekly. That was not being met based on some changes that were made by the state, so we needed to add that part-time position. And some stipend positions were brought back, all related to students, whether it be a dean of students or a club that we brought back, not many, but a few. Maintenance priorities, we really have gotten to a point in our district where I think we've made so many improvements. Not all of them are cosmetic or warm and fuzzy, as I would say, but I think we're getting to a point of preventative maintenance. HVAC system maintenance, roof inspections and repairs, plumbing system checks, electrical system maintenance, playground equipment inspections, fire alarm and safety systems testing, flooring, exterior maintenance, landscaping and grounds, and inventory and replacement plan. Technology initiatives that are ongoing, student devices, I already mentioned those, interactive displays, our student information system, security, piece of that, the cybersecurity piece of that is important these days with everything going on with different types of phishing. I actually just sent out an email today to parents about just being mindful of, we're never gonna ask you to log into something in an email. There's, no matter how many things we have in place that are barriers, there's ways around them, so we just have to constantly stay on top of those. Wi-Fi access points we've added, our bandwidth has increased, security upgrades, server upgrades coming soon, and some additional costs and trends in the current school year budget that just passed. Transportation, tuition, and related services, mostly for students with special needs, over $800,000 in new services that we have to fund. $831,972 to be exact. Our health benefits, as you know, are skyrocketing. Recent article yesterday, or 2 days ago, I think it was yesterday, which is showing what the benefits are gonna go up. But we went from 2.1 million to 2.2.5 million, and we're looking at about 2.6 million next year. So, I mean, those are just, we're looking at everything we can do to work with our stakeholders in the district. We're gonna talk to our board, we're gonna talk to our association, we're gonna look to see what's out there. And even the governor has said that, you know, some people are leaving the state plan again because it's just becoming so hard to manage those funds, to budget those funds. ESSA grant Title I, our allocations went down a little bit in 24-25. We lost about $14,000. We're still waiting for our Title I allocation for this year. We did just get our IDEA allocation, which is usually somewhere in the high $100,000 to $200,000. That's usually used for tuition for students that need out-of-district placement. Extraordinary aid is a amount of money that, it's a report we do every year for students that receive, let's just say, extraordinary type services above and beyond a certain threshold. The state has not fully funded that amount in the last few years. So in 2021, we received 90% of what we put in for. 21-22, 84%. It's not just us, this is the trend across the state. 22-23, it went down to 72%. And in 23-24, our percentage went down to 62. So in 3 years, it went from 90% funded to 62%. So we're hoping, I mean, that number could be anywhere from 200,000 to 300,000. We just don't know. And that's, we really won't know until usually the end of August what that amount is that we're going to get back. Potential impact for the 25-26 budget. We did eliminate 3 positions at our June board meeting. We have, I think Mr. Graf will probably get into a little bit, we have made some changes in our business office. We currently have a interim business administrator that just started this week after another one was here for a few months. And we're in the process of a full-time search for a new business administrator. We can get into that a little bit more in a little bit. Possible program reductions, we're hoping not. Impact on technology initiatives. Everything we have is going to stay. We're going to replace everything we can. It's going to be hard to do anything new right now this year. We're going to fund our professional development for staff through grants. So it's not a burden on our budget, on the taxpayers. Our facilities will remain in compliance, and we're going to increase our grant applications. So besides the grants that we have to do, we're going to look elsewhere for grants that, you know, can hopefully fund some things for us. Our home and school association is awesome. Our parents have been very supportive in asking how they can help, whether they all agree with some of the things we did or not. I know it's not easy to make decisions, especially when you're in a small district with not many. We don't really have a lot of fluff. We don't. We have the basics. We have things that I think are good for kids, and we want to continue to be able to do it. It's a great community. Thank you for all that you do. But I will finish with the local tax impact. So for this year, we really had to use all of our bank cap. So local taxes to be levied for the 25-26 school year is $10,789,000. It's the last page. It's actually not the last page of your packet, but it's this page that says what is the local tax impact. The effective tax increase based on a debt service reduction of $378,000 that we're getting back from funds we did not use for a referendum from a few years ago is about 10.84%. The annual local tax on the average house assessment of $304,100 will increase by $388 or $97 per quarter, or $32 per month. I also think we have looked back at some of our levy increase history. We can go up to 2. There were some years we did not. Some prior to me, one when I was here. I mean, it's easy to look back and say we should have. Should we have? Absolutely. But we are where we are. So we're looking, I'm positive, I'm optimistic. I know that the taxpayers cannot sustain those types of increases every year. So we're looking at everything we can to, increase our shared services, to look at different vendors when possible. I mean, we're looking at everything. We're literally doing a dive into every line of our budget to see, where we can improve, where we can be more efficient, how we could, effectively cut some of the costs. So that's kind of all I have. Right back to me if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, I want to take a couple of minutes. Obviously, it's been a stressful year. We've been operating in a deficit to the, if you've seen our minutes, we've gotten approval to release $250,000 that we had in reserves. We've got approval to loan ourselves money from our capital reserves that we have to pay back on a repayment plan. So it's been tight. We've known that it was tight for a good part of the year, but transparently we didn't know how bad it was. And there's a bunch of reasons for that. So it's led to the higher than we like tax increase. It's led to cutting of positions that we'd really rather not cut, and a lot of avoidable stress. Now there's external factors to that. We talked about the out-of-district placements going up. There's no avoiding that. It would be nice if we could keep some students in district. We don't have the space. If we hire another special education teacher in Paris and do that, it's a point of discussion. At the moment, we don't have the space. So that's something that has to go into our strategic planning to try and head off future out-of-district placements to try and get ahead of that trend. At the moment, it's a really difficult one to tackle. Healthcare costs we talked about going up. We all know that. The reduction of the state aid, which we were going up for a while. That's actually the reason for some of those 0% increases that you saw. Previous boards, we were getting an increase in money and we were filling our reserve accounts as well and saw it to be fiscally responsible to keep the tax burden lower, but those state aid increases stopped and in fact went down last year. They came back up a little bit, but we lost $150,000 last year. Got a little bit of that back, maybe another $40,000 of that back this year, but it all contributes. Every little bit in a budget like ours, every line item has an outsized impact that it would for another district. The state also defers their payments, their June state aid payments. They've been doing this for a few years. The payments that we get for June, well, they don't get those until July. So now we're tight. We're worried about paying bills and figuring out, cash flow, and we don't have the state aid payments that maybe they want to. So all of these things are really compounding to a really rough year. Why? Because we talked about this, and I presented these slides in the last meeting because I think it's important we all understand why we are where we are. Those external factors, internal factors. We have stuff that we have to address internally. We have a lot of work to do. Last year we raised taxes higher than we would have liked to at the 5.45%. And we said at the time, in fact, I said, we're going to start budget planning earlier. We're going to do this in the fall. We're going to be ahead of this. We're going to have more time to make better decisions. We did meet her. There was insufficient information provided in our plan. We were not operating with the best information to make those decisions. We were thinking that with the use of the banked cap funds, as much as we didn't want to use them all, that would set us up better for next year, and we were caught off guard with some of that. It wasn't true. And then in this year, some of those out-of-district placements, some of the budgeting practices and procedures and financial practices and procedures are not where they need to be, and some of that is getting addressed. That's some of the work that has to happen with when we get both the interim BA and a new BA in, and there's a lot of work that has to happen with department heads to make sure that there is cohesive planning and that it's handled right on the business side. This is a couple points here that go into that. There was some oversight that there's a position called Treasurer of School Monies. Those reports are supposed to be done. That was consolidated, it was held in the VA, so we didn't have an outside oversight. It's something that happens. It seemed okay in our district at the time that we did it. It won't happen again. We want to have more oversight so that we can get the board and get as much information as they can from all of the various reports. And I talked about this, we were late on a lot of those reports. We just approved them last month. That was something that our interim was working on over the last couple of months, catching up on. A lot of single point of failure practices in the business office that took Mr. Grieco and the interim business administrator a lot of time to catch up on and get into banking and things like that really just should not be the case, and it's going to be fixed. And I do want to thank Mr. Grieco. A lot of tireless efforts this year in working within RBBOE and working through the difficult position. Action items. I touched on a couple of them. Treasurer of School Money's position is going to be separated from the VA position effective immediately. That'll go out and get posted shortly, likely. Department heads and admins need to have more control over their budgets and domains. We have to repay our capital reserves. We nearly wiped out our capital reserves to float us through the remainder of the year, and we were on a payment plan from the state. What we put forward was 3 years. The state actually really would like us to pay it back in 2 years. So we have to make adjustments to meet that as well. We've got to stop relying on the state aid in our fiscal year budget that we know we're not going to get in that fiscal year. We have to account for that. We have to, as Mr. Grieco said, look for more shared services where we can, where it's right for the district. We're going to create a grant subcommittee under our finance committee so that we can do more work with grants, focus more on grants. We do a lot of work with Mr. Grieco, does a lot of grants as it is, but we've got to look externally more and talk externally and network and talk to other boards and find areas where we can share services and as Mr. Grieco said, there's unfortunate budget cuts that come too. I've been as transparent as I think I can be on things. I've talked about how next year will be tight too. I mean, we're heading into next year. We're heading into next year with nothing. So that's where some of these cuts come from. We can't keep operating the way we are and expect to make payroll and pay bills. So we have to account for some of these things that have gone wrong. That's where we are. There is one more page on there. I'm not going to go through it, but it's for your reference for later. I shared this at the last meeting as well. We put together approximate numbers that show trends over the last 5 years. So things like the tax revenue, the state aid, the out-of-district placements, our reserves, the way we've adjusted staff, the approximate cost increase or decrease from it, salary increases that we've given to staff, and the employee benefits. And if you look at that, what you'll see, kind of on the screen here, but one of the things that I talked through in the last meeting was you can kind of see how state aid was increasing, things were okay, the reserves were nice and full, and then it kind of quickly turned with some pretty quick external factors that really got compounded by practices that weren't really needed to be internal. So that's the work that we have in front of us for the foreseeable future.
Thanks, Anthony. Any questions, guys?
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
There's no questions. I'm going to step out, but I appreciate your time. Our next meeting is on the 22nd at TJ. Tuesday the 22nd at TJ. If you have questions, if there's comments, questions on the situation, and you can see us, we're trying to be as informative as possible.
Thank you.
Yeah, anybody can reach out, email or call, and middle of summer, so that's a few days here and there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Got approval of minutes for the regular meeting, May 2025.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Two pieces of correspondence. West Flag Neighborhood Block Party on Saturday, August 23rd. Borough, Rockaway, residents of West Flag Street are hosting a block party on Saturday, August 23rd from 4 to 8 p.m. Rain date is Sunday, August 24th. We are requesting a road closure for part of West Flag from Beach Street to Brook Street. If DPW could drop off barriers on the Friday, it would be greatly appreciated. All residents of West Flag and neighboring streets will be invited and informed, and we do not anticipate any objections since it was a success the past 2 years. Thank you, Katie Clare. Everybody good? All right. You're good?
You guys party over there.
All about that.
Also have water email 54 Hibernia Avenue. Good morning all, I hope you are doing well. At this time, I'm kindly requesting a payment plan for our past water amount that is roughly estimated at $800. Not quite sure at this current moment the correct amount. I had a lot going on with my 3-year-old daughter who was hospitalized this year due to her blood sugar dropping and other personal reasons. I have begun a new job as a single mother and I've been doing it on my own. I sincerely apologize for the delay on payment and not keeping up. Moving forward, I will be able to keep up with all payments. I ask for this one-time courtesy to please allow me to split the payments in 4 payments. I can begin paying on July 11th, 2025, and this will be when I receive a check from my job. Kindly advise if this can be done. I appreciate your time and consideration for this matter. Sincerely, Irma Zavala. This is pretty much standard practice.
I think it's only right to upfront payment.
Not a whole. Nice. Council reports. Councilman Slockbower.
Evening, Mayor, Council, or residents. My report tonight, I may just discuss, we have some introduction of ordinances on there tonight. If you've seen the agenda, we'll talk about e-batteries. It's pretty short and simple. If you watch the news, there's always a problem with e-batteries in New York City. People are dying from e-batteries, fires, gases. So that's something that's on the agenda tonight. Also, a parking problem on Lakeside Drive. These problems aren't just picked by council, these are problems that actually come in from residents. So the ordinance committee will sit down, we discuss them for a while, we'll actually go out and witness them, we work with the police department. So that's why this ordinance came in place, is trying to protect the motorists, you, as motorists in town on the roads. So it's for an introduction tonight, so you can read it, until the next meeting. Along with that, this is a repeat, but the environmental committee will be meeting on July 22nd. So I heard some good things will be happening at that meeting, so I'm looking forward to it. And that's great. Good report tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Great. Motion to accept the report of Councilman Slockbower.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Councilman Hurley.
Thank you, Mayor, fellow council members, and our members of the public. From the Finance Committee, we'll start off with our accounts payable for the month. I move that the bills presented in the Borough of Rockaway for payment by the Borough as evidenced by proper vouchers be referred to the committee or unit contracting for same, and when endorsed by them and approved by appropriate action of council, they are to be paid.
Second.
All in favor?
Just a couple of other quick items from the Finance Committee. In a little bit, Ms. Reiche will update us on the status of the 2025 bond anticipation note sale. If you haven't already, just a quick heads up that the tax bills for 2025-26 were mailed out this week. Just a quick council business, attended the Land Use Board meeting on Tuesday, a week ago Tuesday. A couple of applications were postponed to July and September, and a couple of resolutions were passed. And the Environmental Commission gave a nice presentation on light glare and light pollution, very interesting by one of their members who's a physics teacher up at or was a physics teacher at the high school. Interesting. And just finally, a couple of quick PSAs, kind of reserved the date. RBHC, Historical Committee, 3rd Annual Cars and Coffee, Sunday, July 20th, Fireman's Field, 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock, all cars, all makes, all models, all years. Come enjoy, look at some fine automobiles. National Night Out is Tuesday, August the 5th, starts at 6 p.m. And finally, the townwide yard sale that the Historic Committee has sponsored for many years. This year is September the 6th, Saturday, September the 6th. Registration will open up the week of July 27th and be open through September 3rd. So September 6th, I know it's a little earlier this month, but on some really good and consistent feedback, we moved it up earlier in September. So that's my report, Mayor.
Good, thank you. Motion to accept the report, Councilman Boro.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Councilman Agliata.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. Quick report tonight. First of all, next Board of Health meeting is July 15th here at the Community Center. Speaking of the Board of Health and what we've been talking about the last couple meetings in terms of looking at the way that we do inspection fees, licensing fees, and the structure of that. We went to the health officer, we and the board chair have given her a list of businesses to look at. And what we're doing with that is we want to see the two different modalities, whether it's a square footage based system or a risk tiered based system. We want to kind of compare which one of those systems would have the least impact to business owners while still kind of getting those fees and penalties in line with a little bit more modern numbers. So that will, I'm sure, is going to be the topic of discussion next Board of Health meeting, again, July 15th here at the Community Center. Hope to see everybody there. That's all I got for you. Thank you.
Motion to accept the report of Councilman Agliata.
Motion.
Second.
Thank you.
Councilman Haynes.
Good evening, Mayor, fellow council members, and the public. Nice to see everybody this evening. DPW report. Billy and the team over the next few weeks will be taking down the banners as well as the bunting at the bridge. That will go back up around that right before Veterans Day, as we did again last year. Regarding our DPW team, they're doing their actual field maintenance and park maintenance for the summer season. And they're also, over the next few weeks, Billy's going to be working on the paving of roads and a schedule, and the affected residents will be notified within a week ahead of when the roads are going to be paved. And that is my report.
Motion to accept the report of Councilman Haynes.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Councilman McDonald.
Good evening, everybody. Report from our Parks and Recreation Director, Rob O'Connor. One of the resolutions on tonight's is a replacement of Park Lake fence. It's also a repair of a damaged fence by the dam and a small addition of fencing to help prevent people from fishing at the top of the dam. Project should be completed in the near future. You'll also be meeting with the Rotary on a possible grant project at the lake. More info to follow after their meeting with the Rotary. So that's basically my report for tonight.
Motion to accept the report of Councilman McDonald.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Council President Burnside.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. The monthly meeting of the fire department was held on Wednesday, July 2nd. The department approved the application of Jessica Waskus for membership. Is there a motion to approve the actions of the fire department?
Motion. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. As we all know, the Family Festival will be this Saturday from 4 to 10. The band, which is awesome, is Street Hassle. The fire department is going to have their kitchen open. Also, they're selling clams. There will be food trucks and a beer truck as well. And then, of course, the best fireworks anywhere. On Monday, I attended an event at the Assembly of God Church. I was invited to attend. They were holding a program for the women of the congregation. There were delicious ice cream sundaes. But Pastor Adriana, who is really so lovely, just reiterated how the facility is open to us. Obviously, we use it for voting, we use it if we need a special council meeting, but I just found them to be just really great community partners, and you know, it was really a nice event. And I would like to ask for a closed session for personnel.
Motion to accept the report of the council president?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Attorney?
Good evening, everybody. My report was mainly already covered by Mr. Slockbower's report, so I will spare everybody, for that's all I have to say.
Great, thanks. Motion to accept the report of the attorney?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
My report was short as well. I'd like to appoint Chris Singling as property maintenance officer. As you know, Chris works in the office of our fire marshal, Tom Trapasso. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Also, due to a lack of quorum, I am canceling the July 24th council meeting. Motion to accept the report of the mayor?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Report of administrator.
Good evening, everyone. Just wanted to report on, I had my note sale today. So, we had one bid come in, from Piper Sanderlin and Company at 4%. My understanding that's about the going rate, so even though we got one bid, we did get a rate that is, a really good rate. So, we ended up going, out for a total of $3,675,712. And what that is this year's money that we approved along with the last couple of years of notes that we, again, roll over each year until we go out for permanent bonding. So that, the actual payments due next week, and then that note will come mature on July 16, 2026. As also, Councilman Hurley loves to steal my thunders all the time. The tax bills did go out. The rate for this year is 3.368. The breakdown of that, I would make this pretty pie chart. It will be on the website. We will be putting it on the tax website. And what it represents is just the breakdown of the 3.368. County tax is 0.307. County open space is 0.009. The schools total 2.087. The municipal library tax is 0.043, and the municipal local tax is 0.922. And if you add them all up, comes to the 3.368 of our tax rate for 2025. That is my report.
Motion to accept the report of the administrator?
Motion.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Report of the clerk?
No.
Resolutions, consent agenda. 109-25, authorized membership in the Bergen County Cooperative Pricing System. 110-25, award contract for firefighter turnout gear. 111-25, award contract fire ground radios. 112-25, award contract Homatro forcible entry tools. 113-25, award contract Homatro airbags and lifting system. 114-25, award contract Park Lake fence and repair and replacement. 115-25, award contract 2026 Ford F-350 Super Cab. 116-25, award contract service body for 2026 Ford F-350 Super Cab. 117-25, award contract diesel mower. 118-25, award contract police vehicle. 119-25, approved ABC liquor license renewals. 120-25, authorized execution of shared services agreement with Morris Hills Regional School District. Class 3 special officers. 121-25, appoint Class 3 special officer for Morris Hills Regional School District. 122-25, appoint Class 3 special officer for Morris Hills Regional School District. Have a motion?
Motion to approve resolutions as contained in the consent agenda commencing with 109-25 all through and inclusive of 122-25.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
The two ordinances for introduction tonight, 25-16, and then chapter 139, fire prevention to establish regulations for the sale, storage, and charging and use of lithium-ion batteries. As as Councilman Slockbower mentioned, establish regulations for the sale, storage, charging, and use of lithium-ion batteries. Have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Agliata?
Yes.
Councilman Haynes?
Yes.
Councilman Hurley?
Yes.
Councilman McDonald?
Yes.
Councilman Slockbower?
Yes.
Council President Burnside?
Yes.
25-17, amending chapter 241, vehicles and traffic. Purpose, add a section of Lakeside Drive to section 241-50, schedule 3, parking prohibited at all times. Have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Agliata?
Yes.
Councilman Haynes?
Yes.
Councilman Hurley?
Yes.
Councilman McDonald?
Yes.
Councilman Slockbower?
Yes.
Council President Burnside?
Yes.
Great, thank you. In accordance with Resolution 156-20, establishing rules of conduct in the forum for public meetings, please note the following. Please go up to the podium and state for the record your name before addressing mayor and council. All comments shall be addressed directly to the mayor. Once comments are received, the mayor may redirect questioning to other members of council. I will not address matters of personnel. All public comments, questions, and remarks will be limited to 5 minutes within a single turn at the podium. We open the meeting to the public.
Rutherford, Chester Avenue. Just a couple questions, Mayor. What's going on with the Rockaway Storage Authority?
Solicitation. I'll have to get it. I don't have an answer for you.
That's okay. And just one thing too, couple things. The ordinances, when we can start enforcing them, particularly drains that go to the street, stuff up that go to the street. I know when I was back on the council there, we talked about it, you passed it, it's not being enforced.
Okay, will you be able to text me or email
I'll
me
give it to
specific addresses and I'll have that?
Cars on the street, front lawns. And you're aware of the situation
Yeah, I've witnessed it myself.
of what's probably maintenance,
Correct.
and you're aware of what's going on since you were there.
Yep, and then I will get that to Chris England to get up there and investigate.
If anyone wants to know later, I can tell you what's going on, but the mayor knows
I've seen it, I've taken pictures.
of a situation that's
Yep,
not only quality of life, but health issues are coming involved now.
yep, I agree.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Russ.
Angela, 151 North Pleasant Avenue, Rockaway, New Jersey. Do we get a final cost yet for the library, for the dumping?
Yes, that was, I'll get you the exact number, but I know it was.
Okay.
It was between 35 and 40, I believe.
Okay, let's just say 30, 35. It's actually, we call $35,000 too much. So when you told the testings, where they were considered low, acceptable.
Correct.
But the reason why they had to remove it was because of the asphalt itself. So now I was just looking on my phone, I don't plan this out for a week or whatever. So Prospect Park itself, P-PAC, you're going out there is 18 miles. When I talked to you earlier today, White Meadow Lake, it's less than 2 miles to dump from here. And because your levels were low, I have all the contacts before, and I always threw it out to actually dump it for free. So if you'd say even $30,000, actually the DEP actually informed me, and when Joe Bell told me I was targeting, not, trying to start something, but I was asking who's making these decisions itself? Because the DEP actually told me when they were filling out the application, the town, they actually went a different route, and the DEP told me you can go to a different route and dispose it right in town, or you can give it away for free. Why we didn't go that route, the DEP even questioned me. I was like, well, that's the town. So we spent $30,000, $35,000, maybe $40,000
Right, I mean, certainly.
So when I asked Joe Bell, the question is, who's making these decisions? If it's one person, two person, three
Yeah, Joe,
person?
you can talk.
Okay, well,
Yeah, yeah.
that's what I'm asking. If it's
No.
one person, that's not the way to do it.
Well, certainly we're under time constraints, obviously, you know, with,
But you could tell I have a lot of experience about this. So in other words, I move over 2,000 yards, not under the radar, all legal itself. So I'm asking if you spend $30,000, $40,000, Mayor, you've been good to me. But I'm gonna say this straight out, but you have a bad team, okay? Because you spent $30,000, $40,000 when in our own backyard, we could have got rid of it for $0.
right, and that would be the plan for Rockwood Drive.
Yeah, that'll be Plymouth Rockwood and over here. But see, maybe I was like testing. The problem is, I still want to know who's making these decisions. Is it one person or more?
It was a team, it was myself, the administrator, DPW superintendent, our engineer.
Okay, and this is quite amazing, like I was trying to tell you, you might think I'm after the town, but I'm very aggressive in being aggressive to DEP. The DEP says, no, you have to dispose of it. I said, no, you don't. Because if the levels come low, so I'm saying we spent $35,000, $40,000, you guys went the wrong route. And then when you took the truck and you tried to load it up, you didn't load it for the giggles itself and break the truck. You had the intentions of driving the truck. So now I worry about the DPW itself, the drivers, the public itself. So what I proposed before to you today was you can get rid of Rockwood, this dirt here, all for free, but you guys have to drive it up to White Meadow Lake. I give you the contacts for that.
I appreciate that.
So my question is, I made you went on a goose hunt itself for $35,000, $40,000, and you said I was targeting. I wasn't targeting. I'm asking for an answer. And another thing too, you actually were proposing to buy 2 dumpsters. You have a large dumpster, was the one that broke the truck. Then you have a small dumpster. It's a beautiful truck that you have here. You don't have to buy any dumpsters.
Well, we haven't ordered, we haven't bought.
No, that's what I'm trying to say, but you were putting that in the budget, so there's no reason to buy any, dumpsters at all. So, and that's it.
Yeah. But thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Angela. Any other public for the comment?
Hello, Katie Fox, Factory, Ryan, and Summer. I had a question, you just mentioned it about Rockwood Drive, so however you're gonna dump it. What's the status on that? Like, do you have to move it?
Yes,
RBB?
we have to move it. We got it tested, I'm guessing about a week ago. It takes about 5 to 7 days to get the results back, and then once we get those results back, we will look to move that material.
Hopefully it'll last you $30,000 to $35,000, because I know you don't know.
What's for that?
Yeah.
No, we will as
What I know is it,
yeah.
okay. I want to say budget, but you allocated, okay. Thank you for telling us about the new tax rates. I just want to confirm, because I saw it on the website already, that the 2024 effective tax rate was 3.325. This year, Patty reported that it was,
Okay, sorry.
no, the administrator reported that it was 3.368, so that's just an increase of 0.043.
Correct.
Want to confirm that? Okay. Okay. I was also wondering if there was a report from the high school board of education meeting on June 12th, please.
I do not have any information on that. Councilman Haynes, have you heard anything?
Short and sweet, and all they went over was salaries. There was really nothing to report.
Okay. Yeah, I know it's in the tax rate down too, but the allocation for the regional districts actually did go down a little bit from last year, even though the budget had gone up previously. I don't know that means, but anyway. I've heard from a few residents about Park Lake and the water quality. Has it been tested and has it been used?
It's routinely tested. I think we're in, and it's not being used right now. So I think they do weekly testing or
Tested it multiple times.
multiple times they do. while they're using it.
And it hasn't passed.
And right now, it's not.
Okay. Thank you. Next one. Have the quarterly cannabis payments been received?
Excuse me, Katie, I'm sorry.
The quarterly cannabis payments, I know it's all July.
We haven't gotten them yet for the second quarter.
Okay, thank you. Also, has Ridgeview on Rockaway, the apartments that have been built up on 46, have they submitted a tree permit yet?
No, I don't.
Also, I did notice that the agenda that's on the website is not the same as this one that we have here.
Sometimes they get updated.
Yeah. Just wanted to mention that. And lastly, there are a couple of emails I sent to you back that you can copy on. I know that they don't require a legal response, I don't think, based on my research, but I really appreciate at least some sort of discussion or acknowledgement of receipt.
I think we addressed it at the last meeting.
Oh, I sent them since the last meeting.
Excuse me?
I sent them since the last meeting.
I don't, can you just remind me?
There was one about Parks and Rec and one about the responses that Mrs. Bell gave at the last meeting. I had further comments on them. Thank you very much.
Not that I'm skewing it, but I don't recall seeing it, so if you could check to make
Yeah.
sure I was copied on, or resend it to me, please.
Yeah, I'll resend them so that the top, I copied everyone, so.
I-
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dave. Any other comments from the public? Hearing none, close the meeting to the public. Motion to go into closed session.
Motion to go in closed session.
Second. Second. All in favor?
Good night, everybody.
Have a good couple of weeks. See you guys on.
Saturday night, best fireworks.